Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. We're going to learn about Mao Zedong's life in a simple and easy to understand way, perfect for practicing your English listening. Birth, childhood and family. Mao Zedong was born on December 26, 1893, in Shaoshan, a small village in Hunan Province, China. He grew up in a peasant family that had become relatively wealthy farmers. His father, Mao Tse-Tung, was a strict man who worked hard to save money and buy more land. His mother, Wen Qimei, was kind and religious, following Buddhist traditions. Young Mao had 3 siblings, 2 younger brothers and an adopted sister. As the eldest son, he was expected to help with farm work from an early age. He often worked in the rice fields alongside his father. This early exposure to farming life gave him first-hand experience of the hardships faced by Chinese peasants. Mao's childhood was marked by conflict with his father. His father believed in traditional values and wanted Mao to respect authority without question. Mao, however, showed an independent spirit from a young age. He often argued with his father about work and study. These early conflicts shaped Mao's rebellious character that would later define his political life. Education and formation. Mao began his education at age 8 in a local primary school where he studied Chinese classics. He was an excellent student with a remarkable memory. By age 13, he had to leave school to work full-time on his family's farm. However, Mao continued to read books whenever possible. At 16, Mao convinced his father to let him attend a higher primary school in a nearby town. There, he was exposed to new ideas about China's future. In 1911, when the Chinese Revolution overthrew the Qing dynasty, Mao was 17 years old. This political upheaval sparked his interest in national affairs. In 1918, Mao graduated from the Hunan First Normal School, a teacher training college. During this time, he read widely about Western philosophy and political theories. He became particularly interested in Marxist ideas. His education was not formal or prestigious, but his self-directed reading gave him a unique perspective that combined Chinese tradition with revolutionary thinking. Early professional career. After graduation, Mao worked briefly as a primary school teacher in Changsha, the capital of Hunan Province. He also took a job as a library assistant at Peking University. There, he met professors and intellectuals who introduced him to Marxist theory and communist ideas. In 1921, Mao became one of the founding members of the Chinese Communist Party. He was just 27 years old. His early work for the party involved organizing labor unions and leading strikes. He focused particularly on mobilizing peasants, which was unusual as most communists concentrated on urban workers. Between 1924 and 1927, Mao worked within the alliance between the Communist Party and the Nationalist Party, Kuomintang. He served as a political organizer in his home province of Hunan. During this period, he wrote an important report about peasant movements, arguing that rural farmers, not urban workers, would be the main force of Chinese revolution. This idea later became central to his revolutionary strategy. Personal life and relationships. Mao's personal life was complex and often subordinated to his political ambitions. His first marriage was arranged by his father when Mao was only 14 years old. He never lived with this wife and later rejected the marriage entirely. In 1920, Mao married Yang Kai-hui, a fellow revolutionary. They had 3 sons together. Tragically, Yang was captured and executed by nationalist forces in 1930, while Mao was away leading communist forces. This personal tragedy deepened Mao's commitment to the revolutionary cause. His third wife was He Zizhen, who accompanied him on the famous Long March of 1934 to 1935. They had 6 children together, though several died young due to the harsh conditions of revolutionary life. In 1938, Mao met Jiang Qing, an actress who became his 4th wife. She later played a significant role in Chinese politics, especially during the Cultural Revolution. Mao's family relationships were often strained by his dedication to revolution. He frequently placed political goals above family needs. Many of his children were sent to live with peasant families or relatives while he focused on revolutionary activities. This pattern of prioritizing politics over personal relationships continued throughout his life. Main achievements and contributions. Mao's greatest achievement was leading the communist revolution that transformed China. After years of guerrilla warfare against both Japanese invaders and the nationalist government, Mao proclaimed the founding of the People's Republic of China on October 1, 1949. He became the country's first chairman, a position he held until his death. Under Mao's leadership, China implemented land reform, redistributing property from wealthy landlords to poor peasants. This policy dramatically changed rural power structures and won support from millions of farmers. He also promoted women's rights, banning practices like foot binding and arranged marriages, and encouraging women to join the workforce. Mao launched the Great Leap Forward in 1958, an ambitious plan to rapidly transform China from an agricultural society into an industrial powerhouse. He established communes where people lived and worked collectively. The program aimed to increase steel and grain production dramatically. In 1966, Mao initiated the Cultural Revolution, a decade-long campaign to preserve communist ideology by purging traditional and capitalist elements from Chinese society. He mobilized young people as Red Guards to attack old customs, habits, culture, and thinking. This movement gave Mao direct connection to the masses, bypassing party officials he distrusted. Mao also developed a political philosophy known as Mao Zedong thought, which adapted Marxist-Leninist principles to Chinese conditions. His writings, collected in the Little Red Book, became required reading throughout China. His theories emphasized continuous revolution, class struggle, and the importance of practical experience over theoretical knowledge. Challenges and obstacles overcome. Mao faced numerous challenges throughout his revolutionary career. During the 1920s and 1930s, communist forces were nearly destroyed by nationalist armies. Mao led his followers on the Long March, a 6,000-mile journey through some of China's most difficult terrain. Of the 100,000 people who began the march, only about 8,000 survived. After establishing base areas in northern China, Mao had to fight against Japanese invasion during World War II. He developed guerrilla warfare tactics that allowed his smaller forces to effectively resist much larger armies. These experiences shaped his military thinking, summarized in his famous saying, "The enemy advances, we retreat. The enemy camps, we harass. The enemy tires, we attack." Many of Mao's economic policies faced serious problems. The Great Leap Forward resulted in a catastrophic famine between 1959 and 1962, causing millions of deaths. Mao was temporarily sidelined within the party leadership after this disaster. However, he skillfully maneuvered to regain power, launching the Cultural Revolution to eliminate his opponents. Throughout his life, Mao struggled with health problems, including lung disease and heart issues. Despite these physical challenges, he maintained his leadership position through political skill and force of personality. His ability to connect with ordinary Chinese people and present himself as their champion helped him overcome numerous political crises. Legacy and impact on the world. Mao Zedong's legacy is complex and controversial. He transformed China from a semi-colonial, fragmented country into a unified, independent nation with global influence. Under his leadership, China developed nuclear weapons, improved literacy rates, and increased life expectancy through better healthcare. However, his policies also caused immense suffering. The Great Leap Forward and Cultural Revolution led to economic disruption, political persecution, and millions of deaths. Many historical and cultural treasures were destroyed during campaigns against old culture. After Mao's death in 1976, China's new leadership under Deng Xiaoping introduced market reforms that moved away from Mao's economic model. Nevertheless, Mao remains an official hero in China. His portrait still hangs in Tiananmen Square, and his body lies in a mausoleum visited by millions each year. Internationally, Mao's revolutionary theories influenced movements in Asia, Africa, and Latin America. His emphasis on peasant revolution provided an alternative model to Soviet communism. His strategic thinking on guerrilla warfare has been studied by military leaders worldwide. Mao Zedong's life shows how determination and adaptability can change history. From humble beginnings in a small village, he rose to lead the world's most populous nation. His journey reminds us that ideas have power to transform societies. Whether viewed as a hero or villain, Mao's impact on China and the world cannot be denied. His story teaches us about the possibilities and dangers of revolutionary change.